Now, these people are, of course, incapable of shame, and so all of the embarrassment was felt secondhand on Friday when ESPN paused during its coverage of the women's NCAA basketball tournament to have a moment of silence in protest of the Florida legislation, which lying opponents have dishonestly dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill. The stunt sparked, for one thing, a philosophical debate among some people, which is that, if ESPN anchors stage a protest during women's basketball coverage and nobody is watching to notice, did it really happen? We'll leave that discussion for another time. For now, here is one anchor explaining the demonstration. Watch.
Legislation happening in Florida and across other states as well that are targeting our LGBTQI plus communities. Many of our colleagues here at ESPN have planned and organized a walkout that will be happening at 3 p.m. Eastern today. And to be honest with you, we thought we were going to come here today and really celebrate a sport that has meant so much and done so much, including for so many in the LGBTQI plus communities. But we understand the gravity of this legislation and also how it is affecting so many families across this country. And because of that, our allyship is going to take a front seat. And with that, we're going to pause in solidarity.
Wow. I mean, I can't decide what's more brave, the blatant lies, the phrase, our allyship will take a front seat, or the moment of silence on a broadcast with 0 viewers. It's hard to say. But she wasn't alone. The announcers on the court also joined in. Let's listen to that.
Our LGBTQIA plus teammates at Disney asked for our solidarity and support, including our company's support in opposition to the parental rights in education bill in the state of Florida and similar legislation across the United States.
And a threat to any human rights is a threat to all human rights. And at this time, Courtney and I, we're going to take a pause from our broadcast to show our love and support for our friends, our families, and our colleagues.
I mean, needless to say, of course, none of these people have read the bill or know what's in it or have any idea what's going on. You don't actually see the whole moment of silence there, but trust me, it was inspirational. Speaking of inspiring, Disney on the same day announced that in further protest of the Florida legislation that forbids teachers from talking to 6-year-olds about their sexuality. That's the thing that's a threat to human rights, is if we don't allow teachers to talk to 6-year-olds about their sexuality, then human rights are threatened. Because what? Because 6-year-olds have a human right to be sexually indoctrinated by their creepy pervert teachers? Or is it that the creepy pervert teachers have a human right to indoctrinate kids? Yeah, I think that's probably what it is as far as they're concerned. But anyway, Disney announced that they would be releasing a film where 2 lesbian cartoon characters make out. And this, again, is another inspiring thing that they're doing because of the bill. This is from the Daily Wire. It says, Pixar has reportedly decided to reinstate a same-sex kiss in the upcoming animated children's film Lightyear in response to Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill and the Walt Disney Company's leadership's response to it. A source close to the production said the next feature film from the studio about the real-life story of how the famed Toy Story character Buzz Lightyear came to be will reportedly include a kiss between 2 female characters, reported Variety in a piece published Friday. One of the characters is reportedly a significant female role by the name of Hawthorne. So by the way, this is, just to clarify, this is a cartoon about the origin story of the film character that the Buzz Lightyear toy is based on. That's the origin story, a fake origin story of a fake character from a fake movie that a fake toy was based on. If you're wondering whether major Hollywood studios are utterly and completely out of ideas, I think that should probably answer it for you. No self-respecting person should have ever even been considering buying tickets for this 100-minute toy commercial to begin with, but especially not now. Now that it's being used not only as a vehicle to sell Disney merchandise, which is the main reason why any Disney movie exists, but also as a forum to protest the prohibition of childhood sexualization. And yet we see in this move by Disney and the demonstrations on ESPN and all the other theatrics from the left surrounding this bill, a certain not so subtle hint of desperation. Because they're panicked, frenzied. They can see the cultural tide turning slightly and they're terrified. You know, with prices skyrocketing, inflation, gas prices going up, we all need to find ways to save money every single day. And there's a lot of money that we're all wasting every day without even noticing it. Whether you're in the market for a basic kitchen appliance or a luxury upgrade to your old TV, DealDash will allow you to get the best deals on whatever you're looking for. DealDash partners with brands of all sizes, wholesalers, and inventory liquidators. When these brands are stuck with excess inventory they can't sell, DealDash helps out by buying these excess lots and can pass on big savings to its customers on brand new, high-quality products. DealDash has hundreds of auctions daily on brand new items ranging from TVs and laptops to tools and kitchenware, and even cars with guaranteed free shipping. iPads have sold for $33.60. Brand new cars have sold for less than $1,000. In addition, in order to keep the prices low, DealDash charges a small fee to place a bid. You can always buy the product at the buy it now price to get the credits back that you used in the auction and reuse them in later auctions as well. All auctions start at $0 and you have a 90-day money-back guarantee on your first bid pack purchase. Don't be made a victim to today's inflation. Get all the new products you desire without price hikes at DealDash today. Use the promo code Walsh for an additional 10 free bids when making your first bid pack purchase, and start bidding today. The Leah Thomas charade at the NCAA Women's Swimming Championships last week has become its own sort of watershed moment, no pun intended. There's a backlash against the trans agenda right now, unlike anything we've seen to this point in our culture. And it hasn't abated, even after Thomas lost his final races over the weekend, clearly throwing the competition intentionally so that the gender ideologues could point to it and say, see, it's not so unfair after all. I mean, he won handily in this, what was a 500-meter race, and then the couple races he did on Saturday, he lost. He came in 6th place or something. Wasn't even competitive. So pretty clear that he lost on purpose. But that has done little to stem the tide of outrage, nor should it. On Sunday, an NCAA swimmer by the name of Rika Georgi wrote a letter to the NCAA protesting their decision to let a male compete. Now, she's the first female swimmer to formally and publicly complain with her name attached. Bold move, brave move, necessary move. And I admire her for it. Now, on the other hand, I don't think it's splitting hairs to point out that when I read this letter, she refers to Leah Thomas as she multiple times. And also talks about how much she respects Leah Thomas and all those things. And Leah Thomas is pursuing his dreams, or rather her dreams, and so on and so forth. Now, this doesn't totally negate the impact of the letter, but it does diminish it slightly, sadly, because by calling Thomas she, it concedes the underlying claim that Thomas is making. I mean, either Thomas is a she or not, and he's not. And since he's not, he doesn't belong in the women's league. But if he was a she, then there'd be no reason to complain. And trying to keep him out, or her out in that case, would indeed be unfair and wrong. I mean, literally the only argument against Thomas's participation, and it's the only argument we need, is that he is a he. That's the whole argument. There is nothing else. That's all there is to say. He's a he. By calling he she, you undercut yourself, accidentally conceding the very point you're supposed to be arguing against. So the letter is a good start. Definitely. Again, I don't mean to detract from the bravery it took to write it, and it does take bravery. But we need to go a lot farther. I mean, this is a good start, a good step. We need to go farther than that. And we need to be arguing against all of this on a fundamental level. So here was another good sign. The swimming finals was also the scene of a confrontation between activist Kelly J. Keene and a man who now identifies as a trans woman after 50 years as a man. Keene was trying to explain to this guy why she is not comfortable with him using the female restroom. And here's how that exchange went.
On the basis of the comfort and dignity of girls and women, I'm asking you, telling you, please do not use women's spaces. Makes them feel uncomfortable.
My girls and the other women I am with are very comfortable with me in the bathroom.
Well, fortunately, I'm not your daughter, and my daughter is also not your daughter.
No, that's right.
And she would feel very uncomfortable. No, I interrupted
No,
you interrupted me.
Excuse me.
You interrupted me.
I'm not here for a debate. Beth, do you mind?
Right.
I would ask you to please call off your dog.
I beg your pardon. I'm asking you as a mother. I'm asking you as a mother mother, do not use female spaces.
And I'm very uncomfortable.
It makes women and girls feel very uncomfortable.
As a mother,
you are not. How dare you?
As a mother, I am very.
You're not a mother. You'll never birth your children. You are not a mother, Dawn.
Right,
I did the job of mom, which is even more important.
You hear this guy? It's like, as a mother, this is a 50-year-old dude who, after 50 years as a dude, decided to put on a wig and call himself a woman. I mean, that's it. One day he wakes up, puts a wig on. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. Having skipped all of the most difficult aspects of motherhood, he now wants to claim the title for himself. Except he ran into at least one woman who won't go along with it, doesn't want the women's restroom to turn into a masquerade ball or a costume party for this guy's sake. What comes across most of all in the conversation between the two is, as I pointed to many times, the overwhelming, suffocating narcissism of the trans person in this exchange. He simply doesn't care how anyone else feels and, what anyone else wants. He takes whatever he wants for himself without any concern for anybody around him. He claims the bathrooms of women. He claims their very identities. Tries to make it all his own. Somewhat paradoxically, though, while he covets womanhood, he also very clearly has incredible contempt for the women themselves. He hates women, but yet wants to be them. And he, along with all the other gender ideologues, have been running roughshod over the culture for years, taking whatever they want with no resistance. That finally seems to be changing, slightly. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not declaring victory. We're a very long way off from anything that can be considered a cultural victory on this front or any other front. Because victory, if it comes, is years down the line. Generations away, probably. It took generations to lose the culture. We'll take generations to get it back. But recently, we have seen some movement in the right direction. We're seeing some of that here. Baby steps towards sanity and moral decency. Now, these advances could easily stall if we succeed in, say, getting men out of women's sports and then decide that that's good enough, call ourselves the winner, go back to ignoring the issue. I could see that happening. Or if we all, go with the line that some conservatives have adopted, claiming that we have no problem with the left's gender theories in general, we just care about fairness in sports or privacy in the bathroom or whatever, as if that's the fundamental issue, which it isn't. What we have to remain firm on is that we have a problem with the very concept, the guy there in the wig, the very concept that he could be a woman because he says he is. That is what we are taking issue with. That's what we're arguing against. That's what we're fighting. It's not just this or that particular thing that guy wants to do, but it's the very claim that he is making about himself. There are still a lot of people on the right who are very cautious about that, very afraid. And so you see this even now. You see plenty of people, even conservatives who for the first time are really speaking out about some of this stuff. They're saying, I don't have any problem with transgenderism. It's just women's sports that I care about. No, we adopt that. We make that our line. That's a mistake, and we lose. Meanwhile, the left will only become more desperate, more enraged, try to push even further. As we're seeing down in Florida, they will double down and triple down, then double down on their triple down. Again, as they've done in Florida. The battle only gets more vicious from here. But I think we're finally moving ever so slightly in the right direction.